You walk into the classroom 2 minutes late, and every head turns for exactly 1 second before turning back. The chairs are arranged in a horseshoe, unfamiliar, nothing like the rows you're used to back home. You spot one empty seat near the window and slide into it as quietly as possible. But the professor has already clocked you. Glad you could join us. We were just discussing the reading from last night. No anger in her voice, just a fact stated out loud, and every option flashes through your head at once. Say nothing. Old, you might have picked the second one, words tumbling out in a panic. Instead, you just say, sorry, the bus was late, and she nods, moves on. And the class keeps breathing like nothing happened. You pull out a notebook that's mostly empty and try to catch up. And that's when it hits you. The professor is talking fast, faster than any listening exercise you ever practiced. Words blurring together at the edges. You catch maybe 70%, enough to follow the shape of the conversation, but not enough to feel safe inside it. You write down words you don't understand instead of full sentences, planning to look them up later. That's not failure. That's strategy. A girl next to you leans over during a pause. Do you want to borrow my notes from yesterday? I noticed you weren't here. Your first instinct is to say no, to protect the version of yourself that doesn't need help. But you catch it, that old habit, and let it go. Actually, that would be really helpful. Thank you. 4 words that cost you nothing and gained you an entire missing lecture. Office hours happen on Thursday, and you almost don't go. Standing outside the professor's door feels heavier than it should. Your hand hovering near the wood for a full 10 seconds before you knock. Come in. Yeah, sit down, and the question you rehearsed in the mirror this morning comes out smaller than you practiced. I'm having trouble understanding the assignment. Could you explain what you're looking for in the essay? She doesn't laugh, doesn't sigh, just leans forward and starts explaining, slower this time, checking your face every few sentences to see if you're following. Something shifts in that room. You realize the fear was never really about the grammar. It was about believing your confusion was worth someone else's time. It was. Group projects arrive in week 3, and you're placed with 3 strangers who already seem to know each other. The first meeting happens in the library. Low voices around a table stacked with laptops. Someone asks, "What part do you want to work on?" And the old version of you would have said whatever's easiest, just to avoid choosing wrong in front of people. New, you actually thinks about it. I'd like to do the research section. I think I'm good at finding sources. Nobody blinks. Nobody questions it. You just became a person with a role, not a guest hoping not to be noticed. Exam season arrives like weather. Impossible to avoid, and you're sitting in the library at 11 at night surrounded by flashcards in 2 languages. Your own thoughts switching back and forth between them without asking permission. A classmate drops into the seat across from you. Mind if I study here? It's quieter than my dorm. You don't even think before answering now. Sure, go ahead. Small talk that used to feel like a performance now just happens. The way water finds the shape of whatever container it's poured into. There's a version of this year where none of this happens. Where you sit in the back of every room, notebook empty, hand never raised. Borrowed notes never asked for. Help never requested because asking felt more dangerous than failing quietly. You know that version. You lived part of it in the first few weeks, before you understood that confusion spoken out loud is just information, not weakness. This time is different. Not because your English became perfect somewhere between September and now. It didn't. You still trip over verb tenses sometimes. Still pause mid-sentence, hunting for a word that used to live comfortably in your other language. But the sentences hold anyway, and they carry real weight now. Questions in office hours, notes borrowed and returned. A role claimed in a group project instead of one avoided. Finals end, and you walk out of the exam hall into cold air that feels earned somehow. Your professor passes you in the hallway a week later. Stops? Actually stops. You really came a long way this semester, 6 words. And you just smile and say, thank you. It wasn't easy. I mean, every part of that sentence. The easy way you say it now, and the hard way it used to be. That's English Cat Academy. We'll see you in the next lesson.